Putin and Trump may be buddies again. They're going to meet. They're going to meet in the wonderful place in the United Arab Emirates. They're going to have a summit. They're going to meet one-on-one, Putin and Trump. They both announced it. I guess the Russians announced it. I guess the U.S. asked for this after Witkoff's 3-hour meeting yesterday with Putin. Coming out of that meeting was an agreement to have a we'll now to have this meeting. So all right. Now, what to make of this? Well, I take this as Putin's really smart. Putin knows he can manipulate Trump. Putin knows that anytime they talk, and particularly if they're in private, he is just better than Trump. He's just smarter than Trump. He knows exactly what he wants. Trump has no clue. And he's a better negotiator than Trump. I think Putin believes that if he meets Trump one-on-one, he can fool Trump into thinking or fool Trump into believing whatever it is that Putin wants him to believe, that he will get what he wants from Trump, that Trump likes Putin, respects Putin, maybe even admires Putin. He does not like or respect Zelensky. I think Putin realizes that Trump's politics are very personal, that a lot of this stuff he decides is based on his emotion or his emotional connection to particular people. And Putin, is going to exploit that. And my expectation is that out of this meeting, you get a much weaker support for Ukraine. Remember, this is coming, tomorrow is the deadline by which the United States is supposed to put massive tariffs on countries that are basically importing using Russian oil. Now, we'll see what happens tomorrow if those tariffs are put in place. But so Trump was getting tough on Russia. And this is a way for Putin to diffuse all that, to eliminate that and to get Trump back on his side. I think he feels like he lost Trump somewhere in the muddle. The pro-Ukraine side within the American administration got an upper hand, and now he wants to recapture Trump, and I think he will. I think he will. Somebody says I underestimate Trump's intelligence. I wish. I wish. I don't think that's indeed the case. I think you guys way overestimate Trump's intelligence and Trump's everything else. Trump has already called up European leaders and let him know that he's going to hold these talks. He is hoping, Trump says, to have a trilateral meeting with Zelensky as a follow-up. Putin has already said he has no interest in meeting Zelensky. So again, Putin is going to set the terms of this. Putin is going to dictate what actually happens. We will see. No U.S. president has met, or Biden didn't meet with Putin since the invasion. The last time an American president met with Putin was before the invasion, when Biden met with him. The idea that these two people meeting is a good thing. There's nothing good about this. Nothing good can come out of this. This is basically capitulating in the end to Putin. He wants to be brought back into, global leadership, and meeting with Trump symbolizes that. He wants to project within Russia that he is taken seriously by global leaders, and I think meeting with Trump suggests that. Trump has nothing to gain here and everything to lose. There's zero to gain for the United States or for Trump from meeting with Putin. The only thing Trump should be doing right now is arming Ukraine to the teeth. That is it. That's all that's needed. And then see what happens. Play it out. And look, when Trump met with Putin in his first term, he looked pathetic. So I might underestimate Trump's intelligence, but he looked pathetic. India is buying Russian oil because it's cheap. It's getting it way below market prices. And it has no stake in Europe. It has no conflict with Russia. I think it's a mistake for them to buy Russian oil, but it's completely understandable that they're buying Russian oil. Why are we using these stupid tactics? Sanctions don't work. We've had sanctions in Iran since 1979. We've had sanctions in North Korea for decades. If either one of those regimes changed, if either one of those regimes, moderated, if either one of those regimes become less of a threat, sanctions are not a solution. The solution is allowing Ukraine to fight. That's a solution. Giving Ukraine the tools to actually kick the Russians out, or at least make it so painful, continue to make it unbelievably painful for the Russians. Now, it could be that even then Russia will win, but okay, so Russia wins. But sanction India, tariffs on India, which means taxes on Americans because India is importing oil from Russia. If India doesn't import oil from Russia, other countries will. South Africa will, Brazil will, Argentina will go around the world. Maybe Argentina wouldn't, but other countries will go around the world sanctioning everybody. Economic sanctions don't win wars. Economic sanctions don't change regimes. Economic sanctions don't achieve the goals that are set in advance. They never have. Venezuela changed because of our economic sanctions on them. It's Cuba. And now Venezuela and Cuba, I don't know why we have economic sanctions on them, even though I'm sure Cuba buys Russian oil. So no, economic sanctions is not the preferred method. The preferred method is to arm the people who are willing to fight them. All right. So yes, all these countries buying oil from Russia helps the Russian war machine. Absolutely. Okay. There's nothing you can do about that. You want to go around sinking every Russian ship that leaves a Russian harbor? That's war with Russia. So the alternative is, Russia's building a pipeline. It could build a pipeline, to China and basically export all its oil to China. Is that a solution? The solution is to defeat them. The solution isn't to play games at the margins. The solution is not sanctions. Never was. Sanctions is a weak card. What you want is to win wars. And you've got a proxy fighting a war for you. Now, rumor has it that the United States has already offered Russia a pretty favorable deal, and that's why Putin is willing to meet. There's a Polish outlet on it, claims to have the proposal that Witkoff gave to Putin. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. I wouldn't be shocked if it was. Here's the proposal. A ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, but not a peace treaty. De facto recognition of Russia's territorial sieges, so everything they've captured to date, with the issue of actual annexation or actual international recognition postponed for 49 or even 99 years. You can tell this is a real estate. You lease it for 49 years. Lifting most Western sanctions against Moscow. A return to importing Russian gas and oil in the long term. No guarantees on halting NATO expansion. No promise to stop military aid to Ukraine. So that's the deal on the table. I mean, it's a horrible deal. It's one of these deals that kicks the can down the road. We're going to kind of recognize maybe Russia for 49 years, and what prevents Putin's successor in 10 years from invading Ukraine again. From now more advantageous positions. And after 10 years of rearming. I mean, this is basically a sanction of Russia's war and a recognition of its, quote, achievements, territorial gains. And then if you lift sanctions, all the sanctions, and you start importing natural gas into Europe, then let's fund the Russian war machine so that they can become more ambitious and maybe go after NATO next. And then no guarantee on holding NATO expansion. I mean, this deal would be, somewhat acceptable, still a bad deal, if, as part of the deal, Ukraine became a NATO member. And then at least you got the idea that in 10 years, invading Ukraine, further war with Ukraine, would invoke Article 5 and NATO would be at war with Russia. And instead of no promise to stop military aid to Ukraine, how about providing massive military aid to Ukraine be part of the deal? All right. So, oops, what am I doing? So Trump is going to meet with Putin. We will see. We will see what where this goes, and exactly what happens. But it is. I predict that nothing good will come of this. That it is a it is a disaster. That Putin will run circles around Trump, and if this is the outline of a deal, then Ukraine should be panicking. Europe should be panicking. Anybody who values freedom and liberty, anybody who is worried about Russia's expansionism, should be really, really worried.